Today we're going to talk about why you do not need a title to lead, and here's why. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a coach and consultant helping professionals master difficult conversations and lead with confidence under pressure. Let's do some myth busting here. You don't need a fancy title, a corner office, or manager in your LinkedIn headline to be a leader. In fact, some of the most influential leaders in your workplace might not have any authority on paper. Yep, you heard that right. But they still figure out a way to shape the culture, inspire action, and move things forward. And you know those people when you really sit down and think about it. And you might be asking how? How is that? It's because leadership is less about the position and more about presence. So let's dig into this topic. Leadership isn't a job title, it's a behavior. And I think that you would agree with me because even those that have leadership in their title, sometimes they're not all very good leaders, right? Research from the Center of Creative Leadership found that leadership is defined more by influence than the actual position itself. And in fact, 67% of surveyed professionals said the best leaders that they've worked with were not formal leadership roles. So think about it. Who do people turn to in a crisis? Who quietly motivates the team when things get tough? Who shows up with clarity, courage, and consistency even without the title? That person, that's leadership in action. Titles can create authority, but not necessarily trust, right? A title might get people to listen to you, maybe once, but what keeps people engaged, what keeps people inspired, what keeps people motivated isn't your job title. It's your ability to connect, to communicate, and to lead by example. According to a Gallup study, only 21% of employees strongly agree that their performance is managed in a way that motivates them to do outstanding work. Often because leadership is viewed as a function of the position, not the connection. So you don't need permission to model great leadership. You don't even need that title in your title to be a leader. You just need the courage to speak up, offer solutions, and lead yourself well first. How about that? What a thing, right? Here are some statistics that might surprise you. 70% of employees say that they're more influenced by peers than bosses when it comes to engagement. That came from Harvard Business Review. And that's really interesting. I think about so many peers and so many people that I work with on cross-functional teams that influence me so much more than my boss ever would. And non-managers, they're more likely to influence company culture through informal networks than managers. And think about some of the people that might be on your team that might invite you to like a coffee chat or just a one-on-one conversation just to get to know you better or maybe pick your brain on a topic, right? And peer leadership, it improves productivity and morale by up to 20% when teams embrace a distributed leadership model. And that came from MIT Sloan Management Review. So our peers can be just as important from a leverage standpoint in leadership as we are. So we have the decision that we can be leaders too, right? Or be that person that everyone looks to. So that's right. You may be actually the MVP of leadership and you're not even realizing it because you're not using those skills. So what does real leadership look like? Here's what leadership without a title might include. It might be things like owning your voice in meetings, even when it feels risky. You need to speak up. I know sometimes you feel like, oh, no one's listening to me, my voice doesn't matter. But if you're in that kind of environment, do you really want to be in that kind of environment, right? So you need to kind of think about, is this just a job, or is this a career, or is this something I enjoy doing every day? You also want to consider helping a struggling teammate without being asked. So if you see someone that's really going through a tough time, or maybe somebody new to the team that maybe your company doesn't do a great onboarding, or they're just even struggling outside of that, it gives you a great opportunity to step up and lead. You could also start conversations that others avoid. So even our leaders, they avoid things like conflict or bias or process breakdowns, right? They kind of stay away from things that could be touchy subjects. So if you could be or become the person that can talk through those things professionally, there you go. That might be your leadership point, right? And you could try things like setting the tone for your attitude and energy. We don't all come to work every day feeling super excited, right? Some days we are, some days we're not. But if we choose to be the complaining type, the negative type, that's only attracting all of these negative people and negative energy, right? But if we can bring, not that fake positive, I don't mean that like, oh, everything's happy and glorified and beautiful. That's not real. But if you can bring a better attitude, bring that energy, try to tone down a lot of the negative things, tone down a lot of the gossiping, people will look to you in a more positive light. And also, more importantly, I think of all this list is bringing clarity to chaos through creating some questions to get better answers and not really commanding from a commanding tone standpoint. So I think people, and I think about many peers and people that I work on cross-functional teams, those that step up and ask the tough questions, those are, who are not afraid to get in some difficult conversations, or they know there's conflict and they're trying to create a resolution so it doesn't get escalated to leaders. Those are the people that I think of first. So none of these skills require authority or a title. It's just your intention and your decision to do them. So if you've ever even thought, I can't make a difference until I get promoted, scratch that. Leadership is a practice, not a promotion. And it's how you show up, how you treat others, how you handle pressure. As author Robin Sharma puts it, leadership is not about a title or a designation. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. And guess what? You're probably already doing it. And I would highly recommend Robin Sharma's book, A Leader Without a Title. I think that's one of my favorite books, but it's so important. You could be a leader without it. If you truly want to be a leader, some people want to have leadership in their title because they just want the promotion. But some people truly deep down want to lead, they want to guide, they want to help. But if you're doing all of these things even before you get promoted, leadership is looking at that. They're seeing you shine. And when there are promotions that are coming up, guess what? You might be the first person that they think of. So try this week. Step into this title-free leadership zone by trying maybe one or many of these things. Share an idea in a meeting. Offer support to a new colleague. Ask a clarifying question that no one wants to ask. They don't want to be that guy. Or model a boundary, because boundaries are leadership too. So small moves, big ripple effect. Take small steps. If you truly want to be a leader, start to show it, because I promise you, people will recognize it. So final thoughts here is whether you're a new hire or a CEO, how you lead yourself. Yes, you. How you conduct yourself, your attitude, and your thought, your mindset, it determines how you influence others. So decide how you want to show up. Titles come and go, but the impact of everyday leadership, it lasts a lifetime. And people remember those people, and they will remember you for it. So go ahead, take the lead, and don't wait for someone to give you permission. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you, or tell me about a time that you led without a title. I'd love to celebrate that with you, and I'd love to talk more about this topic, because I don't think that we're stepping into our greatness enough. We're stepping into situations where we can truly make an impact. And sometimes in our minds, we're too worried about that title, that promotion, than really who we truly are and the value that we can bring to ourselves, to others, and to an organization. So I hope you got something out of this. If you found this helpful, please consider sharing, subscribing, and we will see you all on the next video.